What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? My name is Miko. I'm a victim of gang stalking, and I am a targeted individual. Before I go on with this video, you're probably going to hear a lot of noise because I'm also a victim of car mobbing and this noise campaign they got. So you might hear a lot in the background. Really, what I want to speak to you guys about is everything that's going on right now in our world. I think that the looting, the rioting, the protesting, this is just my opinion. I think it's useless. A lot of you are going to go out there and loot and riot and protest, and you're still going to be at the same point that you were at before you started. All it's doing is causing a civil unrest towards our people. And they're looking for anything to go ahead and bring in martial law. That's what they want to do. And you're giving them exactly what they want. I don't feel insensitive towards the guy who was killed. And I feel for his family, and I will keep them in prayer. But what you're doing right now is getting ready to cause civil unrest to cause martial law. See, you must realize something. It doesn't matter whether they arrested all 4 officers or however many officers were involved in this situation. I mean, the thing about it is that we have to get down to the underlying problem of this situation. And it's going to be very difficult to get to the underlying problem, being that a lot of people don't want to accept what the real issue is. A lot of our police officers, correctional officers, presidents, our governors, these people are narcissists. And if they're not narcissists, they are either sociopaths or psychopaths. The problem with that is that these people have a lack of empathy, they have no compassion, they can't love, and they sure are not giving out sympathy. So these are some very dangerous components not to have, especially being in leadership. Okay, so now when this officer has his knee in this man's neck, it's very easy for these other officers to stand around and watch and not say anything or not do anything, regardless of what kind of pain he's in, regardless of how he's suffering, regardless of whether he was handcuffed, regardless of whether he was in fault or not at fault. Because these people show a lack of empathy. They don't have empathy. They don't have a soul. What makes you human is to have a soul. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Now, I can't say that all of these people have no souls, but what I can say is a lot of their souls have been tethered. So it means that they have no access to it. If you have no access to your soul, you have no access to the higher power, to your higher power. And when you have no access to your higher power, there's an empty vessel here, which is polluted with demonic entities. You hear the noise campaign? But a lot of these police officers, majority of all of them, have a lack of empathy. They don't have it at all. So it's easy for them to go out there and kill your uncle, your brother, your father, your family members, because they don't care. They can kill your people and go back to sleep at night and sleep well. And then we're dealing with a court system that doesn't want to bring anyone to justice. So now, when there is a lack of, what's the word for it? When you're not chastised for your wrongdoings, you continue to do them over and over and over again. But when you are chastised for doing wrong, there seems to be a cutoff point where you say, okay, I don't think I should do this anymore. Well, you need to blame the court system, because they are not being punished for what they are doing. They are killing our blacks. They're killing our cousins, our brothers, our sisters. They are killing them and getting away with it. And so when the courts does not find these officers guilty, They believe that they can continue to do the same thing over and over and over with no repercussions for their actions. And this is where the problem comes in at. So, not only do we have a court system that is fucked up, but we also have a group of leaders or police officers or people who are supposed to be in charge or people who are supposed to be helping us, protecting us, who are narcissists. And they don't have any empathy. They don't love. They don't feel. They have personality disorders. So these people are already fucked up. And so it's easy for them to go out there and kill yours, and mine. And that's where the problem comes in at. We're dealing with people who have no souls. Now, you might think, oh, that sounds so far-fetched or crazy. Well, let me explain something to you. 75% of the world's population is just like them. You're probably like them. You have them in your family. You have them as friends, co-workers. They slide under the radar. They're very hard to pick up unless you have a spiritual eye or spiritual discerning for this type of thing. And so these people go under the radar and they become police officers. They become prison guards. They become governors. They become different leaders, presidents. And now we're sitting here with a fucking lunatic in office that wants to kill everyone. You know, I'm making light of the situation. I'm laughing and joking, but this is what's going on. You know, now I don't like to speak too much about this virus thing, but I'm gonna tell you what CD stands for. The COVID stands for. It stands for Certificate of Vaccination. If you didn't know. So between now and the end of the year, they already have a vaccine. So let's get that straight. They have a vaccine. But what they're going to do is they're going to roll it out as mandatory vaccinations due to the fact, and by all right, they can. They don't have the right to do it, but what I'm saying is the reasoning behind why they want to do this, they have a good reason. You know, you may not have it, and you can say, I don't have it. Why should I have to take a vaccine, or why should I get vaccinated for something that I don't have? And when you think about it, look at it like this. It says that, it's like to say, well, even if you don't have it, we're trying to nip this virus in the butt. And so you still may come across someone else who has it later on, a month later, or someone comes across you and you got it. And not only that, we have a lot of people who are asymptomatic. So you could be carrying this disease and not even know it, or virus, should I say, and not even know it, and you're passing it on. So for their what's the word? Their reasoning for wanting people to have mandatory vaccinations is to say, let's nip it in the bud now. If we have mandatory vaccinations, we don't have to worry about anyone passing anything on. We don't have to worry about anyone spreading this virus any further than it already has been spread. And that is the reason for mandatory vaccinations. I don't agree with it at all, period. I'm not a fan of it. But that is going to be their reasoning for rolling out mandatory vaccinations. Now, this is where they bring in the troops. Because if you do not have it's going to start out as people who are refusing to take the mandatory vaccinations. They're going to tell you need to stay in your home. You cannot come out your house. And this is where they're going to bring in the troops and everything, the military. Okay? So now, if you will not be able to come out of your house if you do not have a certificate of vaccination. You must have a certificate of vaccination in order to come out of your home. And that's what's going to happen. And so, with that being said, you know how we've watched over the last 3 years. We watched how they built up all of these Walmarts, and they broke them down and made them into like mini camps or prisons or whatever you want to call it. That's what they're for. So when you decide that you don't want to take this, you don't want to have a certificate of vaccination, we need all you sick niggas to go over here, because this is where you're going to be until you decide to take the certificate of vaccination. The problem with taking the certificate of vaccination is that it comes in a form of a chip. And we all know what the chip is in the Bible. It stands for the mark of the beast, 666. Now, as for the money situation, we have already gotten a new money system. The American dollar is of no value. It's of value today, right now. You can spend it right now. I would pretty much bet my last dime that by January the 1st, it will be of no value. They're crashing the economy on purpose because they want to roll out a new money system, and it'll be in the form of a chip. Yeah. So either way it goes, they want you chipped. If you're not chipped, you can't buy, sell, or trade or do anything. It's in the Bible. But there is a little bit of good news here. The Bible tells us that no one knows the time, place, or hour that Jesus will return. We don't. But he also says, and I'm not speaking of the second coming, but he also says that when you see these things happen, know that I am close at hand. I can't say for sure, opinion based. This is just my opinion. I believe that God will be here to get us before all of that happens. So that means that you're looking at a window. You got a window. Get your life in order. Make sure your lamps make sure you have what you call it in your lamps, and make sure you're ready. Get your house in order. I think that we as Christian men, I keep looking this way because I'm sitting in my garage and I keep getting the noise campaigns and the weird cars coming by, and so I'll look like this just to see what cars is coming by. So excuse me if you see me looking all crazy, but we as men and women and as Christians, we need to have a better spiritual eye to be able to discern what's really going on. All of this is plotted and planned. It was planned from the beginning. The virus, the killing, all of it. It was plotted and planned. It's a setup. So we got to realize when the devil is at work. And, like I said, the looting and the rioting, the protesting is doing no good. Because at the end of the day, you're still in the same situation. It has not changed anything other than you relieve some stress. But as for getting anything done, getting the problem solved, you're still at point A. So to go out there and to protest and to riot and to do all of these different things and loot, all you're doing is pushing us further and further into civil unrest. But not only that, but you're putting yourself in jail. You're putting yourself at harm. I think we'll do better standing in the house and praying. When two or more gather together and they're praying, God will be there in the midst of his people. And so that's where I think we need to be at right now. And I see a lot of things. I don't see a lot, but I don't say too much. Maybe because I have my own issues. I got my plate is like this. I'm carrying it like this. But even in what is it? It's in Hosea 4 verse 1. My people suffer for a lack of knowledge. It implies that they ought to know, they ought to have known, having an opportunity as the people of God. You should know these things. These are things you should know. That's what the Bible tells us. My people suffer for a lack of knowledge. Read your word. God is telling you to read your word. Again, here's another one. Proverbs 27 verse 12. A wise man foreseeth evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are and are I forgot the word into that, but um, a wise man sees evil, and he hides himself. He hides himself from evil. He doesn't. His feet are not quick to run to evil. You gotta read your word. You gotta know the times that you're living in. We have to know the times that we're living in, and you have to be able to discern different things. God has given us a spiritual eye. You know, I want to say one more thing, and I don't want to be insensitive to anybody's gang stalking. Um, I hear a lot of people talk about remote monitoring and what the government is doing, and the government this and the government that, and I think that this is only my opinion. My gang stalking is purely spiritual. I'm fighting demons. So I'm not fighting the government. I'm not fighting the government at all. I know what I'm fighting. I'm fighting demons, spirits, evil, wickedness in high places. But I believe that the government wants you to believe that it's them. And I'm not saying they don't play any type of role in our gang stalking. Trust and believe they're evil, so I'm sure they do. And they may play a significant role in others, and not such a significant role in other people's gang stalking. But what I'm trying to say is this: that the Bible tells you in Ephesians that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities, evil, wickedness in high places. We're dealing with spirits. So even if it is the government, they're bombarded with evil, demonic spirits. That's causing them to do what they do. So it all goes back to spirit. It all goes back to demonic spirits. And so the Bible also tells us that in the last days, the veil will be lifted. So that means that the physical realm that we live in and the spiritual realm that we live in will be merged together. And so you won't be able to tell what's physical and what's spiritual. They give me the blues. If you watch any of my videos, that's all I talk about is the demons and the spirits in my room. They give me the blues. I mean, most people are not scared of. I mean, and I can easily rebuke them in the name of Jesus. But when you sit up here and you got your curtains that's opening up by themselves, they're closing them, they're opening up, your TV pops on by itself, clothes is going back and forth in your closet and ain't nobody there. You know, that type of shit, that type of stuff right there, it's very unnerving, you know, because you know that no one else is in the room with you. So, but what I'm getting at is that I believe that they want us to believe it's the government. The reason why they want us to believe it's the government, because if you start saying that it's spiritual, that means anything that's spiritual always has to lead back to God. And anything that leads to God, they don't want you to touch that. They want you to believe that this fight that we're in, this war that we're in, that what we're facing right now is from men, and it's not. It's from demonic spirits sent from Lucifer himself. You know, if Ephesians tells us what we're dealing with and that the veil will be lifted in the last days, it's easy for them to place thoughts in your head, or for them to make you hear voices, or for them to do certain things, like the car mobbing that I suffer from, and, you know, the noise campaign. Why would they pay people to do this when these spirits hop into individuals and cause them to go down my street with loud, noisy cars and all it? You got to know what you're dealing with and what you're working with. That's all I'm saying. I'm not discrediting anyone's gang stalking, by no means. So please don't take it that way. What I'm saying is that it's always, you have black and white. You have black and white. And in between the black and white is about 30 shades of gray. Everything is not just black and white. You might want to look through the spectrum of grays to see what you're dealing with, if that makes sense to you. You understand what I'm saying? So let's not be so sure that this is the government and this is what I'm dealing with. And I know I have the helicopters and they're flying over my house and they're hitting me with energy weapons. And well, The demons could do that too. It's easy. Easy. We all have demons. So why couldn't they make you feel as if you were getting hit with energy weapons? None of us are without demons. We all have demons. Some more than others. But just because I have demons does not mean that I'm not a child of the Most High God. I don't think any of us is without a demon in us. That would make us perfect. There's only one perfect person, and that was Jesus, and he died a long time ago. So this is just my opinion. It's not facts. And no one don't unsubscribe from me. Say, you know what? I don't like him. I'm finna take no. But that's all. I just wanted to. It's just food for thought. That's all. It's food for thought, and it's just something for you to think about. And if it resonates with you, it does. And if it doesn't, I understand. But it's just food for thought. I love you guys. Y'all be safe. Take care of one another. Peace.